Hey everyone. So I want to talk to you today about the important science that is coming out of the HeartMath Institute. This isn't super new stuff, and the book that I'm going to be referring to today is definitely not, it's a couple years old, and it's called HeartMath. The HeartMath Solution, the Institute of HeartMath's revolutionary program for engaging the power of the heart. So I'm going to do a little bit of a book review, and then I'll add in some commentary. And over the next couple days, I'm going to share some of the tools from the HeartMath Solution because they're really practical, they're really easy, and they're the type that I love. They can give us a really tangible result really quickly, and of course, when practiced over time, they can have tremendous benefits. So, as I'm looking down here, you're going to notice that I'm just looking at my book, at my highlights. And so the gist is that the research that they're doing has been a challenge to see whether and how the philosophical or metaphorical heart and the physical heart interact. And they've found, indeed, that they do in a number of ways. The research has shown that when heart intelligence is engaged, it can lower blood pressure, improve nervous system and hormonal balance, and facilitate brain function. In order for the mind, emotions, and the body to perform at their best, the heart and the brain must be in harmony with each other. Now, this is something that we've talked about in our groups, in our videos here about whole brain challenge, but I like adding the heart aspect into it because sometimes we can get too heady. Even though when I say whole brain challenge, I'm saying left brain thought words, right brain images, midbrain emotions, brainstem, physical sensations, and breath. It's true that if we can engage all those things, we'll get our whole brain involved in change. But sometimes, again, we're thinking too much. And what the HeartMath people are suggesting that we do is that we bring our energy and our awareness down, literally into our heart. And then this reminds me of some other really important teachings that I've gotten from a couple different spiritual teaching perspectives. And it talks about 3 centers of being: engaging our head, our heart, and our guts. Now, this will end up activating all parts of the brain that I'm talking about. Head, thought, words, and images; heart, feelings, emotions; guts, breath, body sensations, and actions. So we're all talking about the same thing, but it's really nice to hear it from different languages sometimes, okay? So we now have scientific evidence that the heart sends us emotional, intuitive signals to help govern our lives. Instead of simply pumping blood, it directs and aligns many systems in the body so that they can function in harmony with one another. And although the heart is in constant communication with the brain, we now know that it makes many of its own decisions. New discoveries reveal that within each of us there exists an organizing and central intelligence that can lift us beyond our problems and into a new experience of fulfillment, even in the midst of chaos. It is a high-speed, intuitive source of wisdom and clear perception, an intelligence that embraces and fosters both mental and emotional intelligence, and we call it heart intelligence. This is now the people at the HeartMath Solution. Heart intelligence is the intelligent flow of awareness and insight that we experience once the mind and emotions are brought into balance and coherence through a self-initiated process. And this is, again, what I love. Everything that we're talking about is we're talking about becoming in charge of ourselves, becoming in charge of our own nervous system, being the dominant influence in our own lives, as opposed to reacting to everything and anything and having ourselves pulled this way and that way by different stimulus, whether it's past memories or future fears or the horrible news stories or the propaganda from this, that, or the other source. We're talking about being the dominant influence in our lives, that who we really are gets the only votes on how we decide to think, feel, and act. So they're saying when our mind, our thoughts, and our emotions are brought into balance, into harmony, into coherence through a self-initiated process, this form of intelligence is experienced as direct, intuitive knowing that manifests in thoughts and emotions that are beneficial for ourselves and others. A direct, intuitive knowing, that sense that you just know. And it takes some practice, right? One, to touch into that sense, but also to trust it and to live by it. The heart has its own independent nervous system. It is a complex system referred to as the brain in the heart. Now, the authors of the book reference other authors and other studies. Mayer and Salovey's definition of emotional intelligence includes 5 domains: knowing one's emotions, managing one's emotions, motivating oneself, recognizing emotions in others, and skillfully handling relationships. Developing emotional intelligence involves the self-awareness of becoming aware of both our mood and our thoughts about our mood. It is thought that the more emotionally intelligent individuals are those who are able to recognize and express their emotions, who possess positive self-regard and are able to actualize their potential capacities and lead happy lives. They are able to understand the way others feel and are capable of making and maintaining mutually satisfying and responsible interpersonal relationships without becoming dependent on others. They are generally optimistic, flexible, realistic, and fairly successful in solving problems, in coping with stress without losing control. And now, these are nice theories, right? But we're going to get to the methods, we're going to get to the tools, and that's all the videos that are on this Facebook page and in other forums, and perhaps this video will end up in other forums, not just on Facebook. This is all about the tools to be able to cope and not just survive, but thrive with stress without losing control. And actually, we discover that stress is actually not the enemy, but is the fuel for our very awesome lives. Early in the Institute's research, we observed that when negative emotions threw the nervous system out of balance, they created heart rhythms that appeared jagged and disordered. Now, so you've seen in movies, EKGs or EEGs measuring the brain, and they're all scattered, right? Well, that's because you're always looking at stressful situations. When we have positive emotions, the heart rhythm is like this. And then the brain rhythm is like this. When we are thinking and feeling is coherent, is in line, is in harmony, they actually start vibrating. We start emitting electrical signals at the same frequency that is calm and smooth, and we start changing our brain and heart wave states, and they link up, and when they link up, it creates a tremendously more powerful effect, okay? But that's also for better and for worse, because when our brain is like this and our heart is like this, that's also coherent. We get coherent around our upset. We get upset and we think, we have images in our head, we have thought words, that motherfucker. And we have images, I'd like to strangle. And then we have emotions, anger, and then we have sensations in our body, tension, shallow breath, heat. Well, that's also a very coherent experience. We get very coherent around our upset, and that produces a very powerful result. What we're talking about now is getting very coherent on purpose around positive emotions and generating them and being the source, not requiring external reasons, but generating our own positive experiences in a very coherent way, head, heart, and guts. Positive emotions, by contrast, were found to increase order and balance in the nervous system and produce smooth, harmonious heart rhythms. But these harmonious and coherent rhythms did more than reduce stress. They actually enhance people's ability to clearly perceive the world around them. Remember, when we're in the stress and the survival mode, as we've talked about in previous videos, we have an inherent negativity bias. We actually do not see things as they are. We see through a negativity lens. We see through, pardon my French, but it'll help bring the point home. We see through shit-colored glasses instead of rose-colored glasses, right? So what we see, we get. In the laboratory, Institute scientists have found that when subjects focus in the heart area and activate a core heart feeling such as love, appreciation, or care, This focus immediately shifts their heart rhythms. When the rhythms become more coherent, a cascade of neural and biochemical events begin that affects virtually every organ in the body. Core heart feelings affect both branches of the autonomic nervous system. So now they're going to talk about the surviving mode and the thriving mode. They reduce the activity of the sympathetic nervous system, the surviving system, the branch of the system that speeds heart rate, constricts blood vessels, and stimulates the release of stress hormones. And core heart feelings increase the activity of the parasympathetic nervous system, that branch of the system that slows heart rate and relaxes the body's inner systems, thereby increasing its effectiveness. In addition, the balance between these two branches of the nervous system is enhanced so that they work together with increased efficiency. This collaboration results in diminished friction and wear and tear on the nerves and internal organs. Positive emotions such as happiness, appreciation, compassion, care, and love not only change the patterns of activity in the nervous system, they also reduce the production of the stress hormone cortisol. Since the same precursor hormone is used in the manufacture of both cortisol and the anti-aging hormone DHEA, when cortisol is reduced, DHEA production is increased. This powerful hormone is known to have protective and regenerative effects on many of the body's systems and is believed to counter many of the effects of aging. Our bodies experience a sensation of well-being down to the cellular level. We literally feed our cells. A sensation that we ourselves can induce. That's the key. We ourselves can induce it. We feel better mentally and emotionally as a result of heart intelligence, and in the long run, that sensation translates into physical health. The best news of all is that these effects are attainable for each and every one of us. So, that's the introduction, the HeartMath solution. Stay tuned for tomorrow, where I'm going to teach 3 of the tools that they teach to actually put this into play. It's one thing to understand it, that's the head. It's another thing to feel it, that's the heart. It's another thing to live it, that's the guts. And it takes head, heart, and guts to put it all together. But I thought that this was a perfect video for the virtue of the day, which is love. Love is the heart is that place where we feel, experience, and radiate love. And so a little bit of heart intelligence goes a long way. And shifting our focus of awareness on our heart space, as we'll learn in the next 3 videos, is going to be a tremendous benefit in our lives and the lives of those around us as we uplift others with our heart intelligence. Love you all. Have a great day.